Welcome back, each and everyone watching Mama Gagasabo Television. You're going to be with me, Kamika Gislen. Now let's kick off with the news headlines. Rwanda plans anti-doping laboratory to strengthen integrity in sports. Rwanda Development Bank gets a new CEO. On the international news, UN Security Council to extend African Union peacekeeping mission in Somalia. Now let's take a short break to be back on the news details. Welcome back. This is our news in Rwanda. Rwanda Forensic Science and Technology Agency and the Ministry of Sports have discussed a project to establish a laboratory to test the use of performance-enhancing drugs in athletes. The discussion brought together the Secretary of State in the Ministry of Sports, Rwego Ngarambe, and the Director General of RFI, Dr. Charis Karangwa. If implemented, this project would be a major step towards respecting international standards governing sports. Moving ahead, Stella Rusine Nteziryayo has been appointed as the new Chief Executive Officer of Rwanda Development Bank, replacing Kameta Pichet Sayinzoga, who has completed a 6-year term. Nteziryayo was previously a member of the BRD and brings extensive experience in financial institution management, credit supervision, and financial system development. She has also served as Director General of Economics at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning. BRD has recorded strong growth in recent years, with total assets rising from 157 billion Rwandan francs in 2019 to 1,000 billion Rwandan francs in 2025. The bank posted profits of 22 billion Rwandan francs and expanded its loan portfolio from 167 billion Rwandan francs to 710 billion Rwandan francs. BRD has supported national development initiatives, helping over 510,000 household access electricity through the Chana Uhendukiwe program and contributing to the creation of more than 300,000 jobs. Turning to the next story, Minister of Gender and Family Promotion, Wimana Konsule, has urged the media to shift focus from tragic family stories to positive examples that strengthen society. Speaking in an interview with the Rwanda Broadcasting Agency, the minister warned that repeated reporting on dysfunction and tragedy can weaken families that were previously stable. Minister Uwimana said many shocking actions reported in the media are linked to the mental health problems, criticizing outlets for prioritizing sensational stories to gain views while ignoring constructive narratives. She also noted that such reporting may unintentionally encourage similar harmful behavior instead of helping those affected. According to the Rwanda National Health Commission, over 44,000 people have sought mental health treatment by July 2025, while the judiciary reported 2,674 divorce cases in 2024-2025. RBC also reported that 1 of the 5 Rwandans has experienced mental health issues. The minister also emphasized that despite Rwanda's progress since the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, trauma persists. She called on journalists to highlight families living in harmony, saying positive stories can help rebuild and protect family values. Now let's take a short break to be back on the international news.
Five Guy Trading Company tubafite ibikoresho by'akataraboneka byo mu rugo, mu mahoteli, za restaurant ndetse n'ibikenerwa n'abageni n'amacumbi. Ireme ryo hejuru, imiterere igezweho n'ibiciro byiza ibyo bituranga. Duhitemo uhindura isura y'aho utuye cyangwa se gukorera. Five Guy Trading Company dukora mu nyubako ya TCB iteganye na station SP ifatanye kandi n'inyubako ya Centenary House muri ground floor umuryango wa 011A. Ku bindi bisobanuro waduhamagara kuri 0782 31 86 cyangwa se 0788 57 0200.
Welcome back. On the international news, the United Nations Security Council on Tuesday agreed to extend the mandate of the African Union Peacekeeping in Somalia for another year, taking it to the end of 2026. Princess Mugisha has more to this story.
And African news, where the United Nations Security Council on Tuesday agreed to extend the mandate of the African Union peacekeeping mission in Somalia for another year, taking it to the end of 2026. The African Union Support and Stabilization Mission in Somalia is charged with helping Somalia security forces in fight against the Islamist military groups Al-Shabaab. But the mission is funding as China want. Somalia has been battling Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab for almost 2 decades, while the militants have been driven out of major cities in Somalia. They still control some rural areas and have managed to recapture some previous liberated zones. Turning to the international news, Ukraine and the United States have raised consensus on several key issues aimed at ending the Russia's nearly 4-year war, but territorial control in Ukraine's eastern region and the management of Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant remain unresolved, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said. Zelensky spoke at US shared the latest 20-point plan with Russian negotiators. A response is expected from Moscow on Wednesday. Today, the Ukraine president said. Russia continues to assert mastermind demands, seizing the Ukraine relinquish the remaining territory in Donbass that it has not captured, an ultimatum that Kyiv has rejected. In a bid to facilitate compromise, Washington has proposed transforming these areas into free economic zones. Ukraine is demanding the demilitarization of the area and the presence of an international force to ensure stability, Zelensky told journalists in a briefing. The future management of Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the largest plant in Europe which remains under Russian occupation, is another contentious issue, and the United States is proposing a gospel with Ukraine and Russia, with each party having an equal stake in the enterprise. But Zelensky counted with a joint venture proposal between the United States and Ukraine, under which Washington would decide how to allocate its share, assuming it would go to Moscow. Ukraine is also proposing that occupied city of Inholda, which is connected to the Zaporizhzhia power plant, be demilitarized free economic zone. As Zelensky said, this sprint required 15 hours of discussion with the United States, as he said. Zelensky said millions in investment are needed to restart the plant, including restoring the adjust dam. Concluding on international news, a prisoner serving a sentence for a serious crime was caught planning to take a hostage and escape from the Panacon in Gaza. This attempt was foiled by officers from the region of FSB Federal Security Service. The Agency Press Service informed the TASI that criminal cases have been initiated. It was reported that the prisoner had studied the staff's work schedules and deployment. He concealed a sheep in his punishment cell where he was praised for violating prison laws. During the conversation with the fair inmates, he expressed support for active international terrorist organizations, justified the attacks and tried to pursue others to call out armed assaults on officers of the Federal Paramilitary Service, according to the FSB Federal Security Service. Princess Mugisha, Mama Ugwagasawi TV.
As we come to the end of today's news edition, let's mind you on the top story that we talked about. Rwanda plans anti-doping laboratory to strengthen integrity in sports. Rwanda Development Banks gets a new CEO. On the international news, United Nations Security Council to extend African Union peacekeeping mission in Somalia. And this marks the end of today's news edition. Stay tuned.